Hi, everyone. Hello. So, I wanted to get on. I felt like I really wanted to put out another video today. This is my, I think, third video. One of the things that I wanted to talk to you all about was being able to move forward. A lot of times we get in situations, it could be from our own doing or from someone around us, or really just something just happens and it's not our fault. A lot of times what we end up doing is we kind of get stuck in that place of feeling those emotions and looking at the situation and wondering, hey, why is this happening, or what can I do to get out this situation, or you know when you do get out of that situation, just sitting there and continuing to reflect on what happened, why did this happen, why me. What we really need to start doing in those circumstances is we need to start looking at your growth and how you're being molded in each and every one of those circumstances. So, I'm just trying to think of an example. Anything could have happened. A lot of times we go through loss. So, let's say you have a family member or someone really close to you, and they're no longer with you anymore. Let's say you really prayed they would be healed, or this person to be an awesome, amazing person, and you just didn't expect them to go so soon. A lot of people can, we can lose people at young ages, or you just expected to have them around a little bit longer. And then you may start to think like, hey, like, this was an amazing person. Why did this happen? I really needed more time with this person. But we have to recognize that in those times we are actually growing, what we're healing. So in that circumstance where you've lost someone, you may now be able to help someone else in the future that loses someone. And you're never going to understand exactly why things happen in that situation, that might have just been the end of their time on this earth. But things are going to happen. One thing that we need to remember is life is not easy. Nowhere were we told in the Bible, or just based on your own beliefs, that life was going to be easy. Absolutely not. Everything that happens to us, a lot of things that happen to us are simply to grow us and allow us to live out our calling and our destiny on this earth, and to give God the glory, essentially. So, next time something happens and it seems like it's something negative, just start to think like, I'm not the author of my life. I'm not. My life is to serve God and to live out the plan that He has for me. So next time something happens, just think to yourself, okay, this happened, but there's going to be good that comes from this, or there's something in this that's going to either grow me or strengthen me, or help someone else. So yeah, that's the main thing I wanted to discuss. That a lot of times where we're in this place, then we start moping because something's happening, or things that we didn't expect. That's a big one. A lot of times we have expectations about what is supposed to happen, and then something happens that throws us off course, or really messes with what we envisioned for that situation to be. But in those times, what we really need to do is just sit there and just contemplate and say, one, who am I? Is it situations that define me, or is it like who I am, and who I am like in the spirit and in truth? So we need to just really remember that things are gonna happen. Life is not easy. It never was supposed to be easy. But one thing we are supposed to do is, try to make the right choices to be able to, live out a good life and have a good destiny on earth. However, life ain't easy. It never was, and it never will be. And a lot of times, if you do have some areas that you could grow and develop, there may be situations that come into your life, and a lot of times they are simply just to grow you, develop you, make you into the man or woman you are called and are destined to be. You're amazing, absolutely amazing, and a lot of times we don't see who we are, and it takes situations and circumstances to help us see who we are. A lot of like, even if you just look at the things that we strive for on earth, a lot of times we strive for, having a good job, having money, having a nice car, having a nice home, having a marriage. Those are just a lot of things that we're striving for on earth, having children. And honestly, none of those things are why we were created. We have a purpose, we have a destiny, we have a calling on our lives. Yes, of course, there's nothing wrong with, wanting nice things, as long as that's not your focus and that's not the only thing that you want, that's not what you're obsessed with and making it an idol. There's nothing wrong with that. However, when you want those things at the expense of living out your destiny, living out your call on earth, that's when it can become a problem. So if your goal, the goal that you've set for your life on earth, is to be able to get a car, and get a nice home in a certain area, become a millionaire, things of that nature, but you set aside your actual destiny on earth to achieve those things, then it's not doing you any good. It's not doing the world any good, and you've missed your point in being here on earth. So one thing I would encourage everyone to do is really think about why you were created, why you were put on this earth. Every single person has a purpose. Every single person was created for a purpose. There's a reason for you being here, and it's for good. It's to bring joy to the world. It's to make changes on earth. And it's really a shame if we miss out on our destiny when we're striving for other things. So, yeah, that's the main thing. When we start to make things idols for ourselves. So I can want a certain house, and if I don't get that house, I become obsessed with getting that house, and everything else that I'm supposed to do on earth kind of just, is forgotten. That's not a good thing. That's horrible. What we need to do is just remember we didn't create ourselves. We're here for a reason, and what really shows success with our time on earth is being able to fulfill our destiny and our purpose on this planet, on this earth. So I just ask you all to take some time and think back to what you were created for, what you think you were created for, what you really wanted to do when you were younger, what you were really good at when you were younger, and some things that you feel that people would say you were really good at, that might be linked to your purpose here on earth. If you, I can use an example. If when you were younger, there were, I guess, a lot of people that would come to you with their issues, people who might have been really different from you, people who had different upbringings than you. If they would come to you a lot and kind of explain their problems and tell you what they were going through, and you would kind of help them, and that without really even knowing them, and that people would consistently come to you, different people throughout your life, and that they were drawn to you in some way, and you would help them with their issues, and that's continued ever since you were younger, into adulthood. You might be called. God might have created you to be a counselor, and God can you can achieve your destiny through various ways and means. So that may mean, depending on your path, that may mean that you need to go and study counseling, get your master's in counseling, or you may need to get your doctorate in psychology, or that could mean doing some sort of a course, life coaching. That's a possibility. Or you can end up having your own platform in some way where you're counseling people in a non-traditional sense. But whatever it is you're called to do, if that is what it is, you need to live that out here on this earth. You have everything within you to be able to fulfill that purpose on earth. Another example could be, let's say, when you were younger. It doesn't have to be when you're younger, because you can find out what you were called to do when you're older as well. God, there's no limit for God in terms of that. Your purpose can be and will be fulfilled while you're here living and breathing. But let's say when you're a little girl or a little boy, you love to sing, you were constantly singing, and it really brought you joy, and it brought joy around you. And maybe, let's say your voice wasn't it wasn't bad, but it wasn't the best. But whenever you would sing, people would just be overjoyed, and they would really feel your emotion behind your singing. God might have created you to sing on earth, and of course we're all created to worship him, but that may be, you may have something inside of you, some sort of a gift, an anointing on you, that allows you to use that gift, and your singing abilities, as you use it, will most likely improve with time as well. And there's so many different examples, and there's so much purpose within each and every person, so you can have a lot of different skills, and nothing is too small at all. You may, if you're a woman, I'm just going to say woman, you might have always loved to beautify yourself, and you love nail polish and makeup and lipstick and things of that nature. That may be your purpose, to make other women feel beautiful about themselves, and help them see that it's okay to beautify themselves, and that even a hairdresser, whatever it is. So everybody has a different call on earth, and you're going to be able to reach different people once you're walking in your call, once you're walking in your destiny, and once you are taking those steps to achieve them. So as I mentioned with the counseling, you may not necessarily have to take some sort of a course. With the beauty, you may have to take a course. You may have to, or you may have to take certain steps to be able to, open a business, depending on what the regulations and laws are. But we can't just sit here. We can't just be stagnant. We have a purpose. God created us for a purpose, and it will be horrible if, when we make it to heaven, when, not saying it would prevent you from getting into heaven. I highly doubt that. God is not that type of God. But when you get there, just imagine how you would feel when you're standing before your Father, your Heavenly Father, and like you're looking at him, and that you didn't take the steps to live out your destiny. Just imagine that. And I know we're on earth. It's kind of hard to imagine, but imagine how, of course, God will love you regardless, and you'll probably be so happy just to be in his presence. But just imagine the disappointment in yourself a little bit for not being able to fulfill your call on earth because you were distracted with other things. So yeah, that's my encouragement for today. Love yourself, and most of all, make sure you maintain your relationship with God and Jesus Christ. He's all around us. He's here with us, and what he really wants is us to start to pursue him, and really build that relationship with him. And that's the main focus, right? Being able to do well and build a relationship with him. And once we have the relationship with him, then all the things that we do, the steps that we take, the way we react to certain situations, it's going to be the way Jesus would have, because we're going to have him within us, and we'll be able to, if we know him, we know what he wants for us, and we know what he is, what he's put inside of us. So don't be discouraged. I know a lot of times, we can be confused, or it's kind of hard to always hear, what it is that we're supposed to do. But even you being able to just take that one step forward, that's what's going to help us reach our destiny. So if we're just sitting still, not making any movement, then that's where we'll be most likely, or close to that same spot in 5-10 years. But it's taking that leap of faith, it's taking risks, it's making changes where necessary. That is going to be where we get to where we're supposed to go. And as we take each step, we're not even going to really be realizing what's happening until we look back like, oh, wow, that's where I came from. I remember when I was doing that, and those were all the steps that it took me to get here. So just be encouraged. Continue to, walk into your greatness, walk into who it is you were called to be, and, don't be scared. There shouldn't be any fear. The only one that you should fear is God. And, on earth, you may sometimes feel intimidated, but there's really no reason for that. As long as you prepare yourself and begin to take those steps forward, the world is your oyster. You have everything that you need that's inside of you. All you have to do is trust in your skills. Continue to identify your skills and just continue to improve and move forward. That's the word for today. There are no limitations on what you can achieve. You have everything that's inside of you that will make you successful. And success can mean a lot of different things, but for me, success is being able to live out my purpose on earth. So on that note, I thank you all so much. Hope you have a wonderful night, and I love you. And just continue to walk into your purpose. The light is calling you. It's calling you. So I wish you all a wonderful night, and be blessed.